I have never, in all of my years as a beauty creator and a beauty lover, seen a brand come out with such a broad complexion range. Today, I am talking about the very, very indie brand, one woman owned, that is the People of Earth. This is not sponsored. They did send me a couple samples, complimentary, but no obligation to post. I'm just very excited to share this with you guys. They have 72 shades across 12 different depths with six undertones, and 5 shade mixers so that you can get the perfect match for you. Because if you're anything like me, you are sick of having your face not match your neck. And it is very difficult when you have a fair olive complexion to get a shade match. So, olive friends, you are going to be particularly excited because they have 3 different olive undertones across all 12 depths of their foundation shades. They have a neutral olive, a warm olive, and a cool olive, all the way from the fairest shade to the darkest shade. I've never, ever seen that. So suffice it is to say, I am very excited about this brand and to share this with you guys. This is just such a great example of a brand being really thoughtful and mindful. And are we surprised that a woman gets the job done? I am certainly not. So anyway, I was in conversation with the brand owner and they are so great. If you want to talk to them about getting a shade match, you can definitely send emails or DMs. We decided to try out a couple shades. So I'm just trying out some samples. I've been testing them out on my own. I have across the olive undertones, the shades 3 and 4. So like 3 warm olive, 3 cool olive, 3 neutral olive, and then all the 4s in the olive complexions. So I was also surprised to actually be potentially using a shade 3 and a shade 4 in a brand because I am fair, but I'm not like super fair. Even so, I often use like the second lightest shade or sometimes even the lightest shade in brands because even when you're very fair, it can be hard to find a shade match. So I just want to put that out there that me being a 3 and a 4 means there are definitely some lighter shades. In fact, one of the fairest creators that I know, she was using the shade, one of the shade 1s and one of the shade 2s. So that goes to show how light it can get, and then the spectrum all in between. So great to see that. Here are some swatches of all of the 3 and 4 olive undertones. I have always considered myself a neutral leaning warm person. So what I'm going to do today is blend 3 warm olive with 4 neutral olive so I can see if I can get that very perfect match for my skin, especially when I'm like in between my winter and summer skin too. I kind of like the idea of having like 2 shades from a brand like this so you can mix throughout the year as your skin changes and all that. I did try out the 3 warm olive and the 4 warm olive before. Here it is on my face without any other makeup, and I found this to be quite a good match. Here is it with makeup. It really felt like it was blending with my neck. Honestly, most of the time in like diffused daylight, I can see like the slight difference with my neck and my face. It's hard to get it perfect with any foundation, but this is one of the first times I was like, oh my gosh, I match. This makes sense. So I'm gonna try a little bit of that different combination today. I'll let you know my thoughts on the formula. And yeah, I'm just really excited to share this brand with you guys. And this is a big win for olive folks, olive undertone folks. All right, so let's get into the product. All right, so this pan is the 3 warm olive on the bottom and the 4 warm olive. I love this combo. These are the sample sizes, again, just as a reminder. You can purchase samples for like $2, I think, on their website. And then these are the neutrals. So the neutral olive, 3 neutral olive, and 4 neutral olive. I find with my skin tone, like the highlights of my skin tend to have this little bit of yellowiness, which sometimes has made me feel like I'm warm. But then the more like tan bits have a bit more like slight pink to them, which leans a little neutral, which is why I'd like to combine these 2 today to see what I can get. Starting with 3 warm olive, I'll just show you a little swatch here. Like it's a little bit fair right now for my skin, but I'm just gonna blend it down into the neck. So you can see how that there's like a similarity there with like the undertones. It's not sticking out as like really pink or orange or oversaturated. That's the thing with olive undertones. You often have a slight desaturation to your skin. Now I'm going to try out for neutral olive. But it's just a touch dark. So that's why I'm thinking combining these two. Like, let's just try together right now. Might be a pretty good match. All right, so this being like a cream type of formula, sometimes I like to just apply it to the face like a little bit. With using two different shades, sometimes I like that because I can add some brightness more to the center of the face and then start to add more depth at the outer part of the face, just a little bit as I combine the two shades. You can definitely use a brush for this, or you can just use your fingers because it is kind of this balmy formula. You might want to just like warm up the product. I've used this with a brush and with hands. Actually, I think I like the hands. It kind of makes it like buttery and really blendable. It really warms it up. Can we see how much this is blending? Like, I have a lot of redness on my face. I'm very prone to redness, which is what's thrown me off in my quest for finding the right shade match. Look at that. Look how much this looks like my neck. In terms of the coverage, I'd say this is like a solid medium coverage. A little bit of your like freckles or something would poke through. You could definitely shear it out or build it up a little bit. The formula that I've experienced that it mostly reminds me of is the Merit complexion stick. So there's like a little bit of balminess to it. I might even lean a little bit more closer to the 4 right now, which makes sense for it being the end of summer. And then the shade 3 is a little bit more for brightening or for my winter skin. All right, friends, here is the foundation, the face base, fully applied. I think that this is my best match so far. I maybe went a touch fair, but I actually always prefer to err on the side of a touch fair because after I do my bronzer and blush, it just makes for a better effect. So that being said, I'm gonna pop off camera. I'm gonna film an autumn makeup look. So stay tuned for that video. And I'm gonna return just so you can see how this looks with a bunch of other makeup products on top and just like the entire effect. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty happy with this. I just can tell that the undertone is matching in a way that I can never really get with other brands. So this is a huge win for olive tone folks. I will be one moment in TV YouTube time and I'll be back to share my final thoughts. All right, I am back with a full face of makeup. I went off to do an autumn makeup look. I mean, obviously, come on, look at these shades. It looks like an autumn leaf come to life. So definitely check out that video if you want to see that makeup process and me going through some of my favorite autumn makeup shades and products. So yeah, this foundation, as you can see how it looks with like the rest of my face done, powdered down. So like, you know, it's really just like integrating with everything. And yeah, I feel like it's a great match. I'm loving this mix with the warm olive and the neutral olive, as I said. And it's just great to see this really seamless look between the neck and the face. And I think you can see now that I added like bronzer and blush that sometimes going just like a touch lighter can be a nice way that everything kind of stands out. You still have that brightening effect at the center of the face as if you used a brightening concealer. So yeah, all kinds of ways you can mix the shades from this brand to get a perfect match for you. And those little mixing mediums they have, like a red, a green, a white, a black, maybe a yellow. So definitely check them out, even if you just want to, you know, pick up a couple samples to experiment and even just try and start to understand your undertone if you've ever been a little bit lost, especially if you have an olive undertone. You might have been like, why can't I get any foundation to match? It's because so many brands have yet to put out olive undertones across the shade range. So I think it's so great that People of the Earth has started to do this, and I really look forward to what they do as they expand as a company. Definitely great to support a one-woman show. And yeah, that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions about the product or the brand. I'll try and answer them as best I can. And yeah, Toasty, let's take it away. All right, Toasty, have you had any trouble finding a shade match these days? Oh, you have like 20 different shades in your fur. Yeah, you're right. It must be pretty tricky. We got it easy. We've got skin, so it's actually a lot easier than matching fur. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching till the end. If you want to join my Patreon coven, link down below, and join through a subscription, that really helps support me and the channel, and you get some bonus content. So that's always down below. I'll link the brand down below. And yeah, until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.